Hello, everybody. Today we're talking about Stefan Molyneux, Stefbot for short. I don't know if many of you know him, but he was very active. As he said, he ran the world's largest philosophy podcast that got banned. The world's largest philosophy conversation was banned when he was banned from all social media for a combination of things. Not so important. But anyway, he's been gone for about 5 years, and now he is back, and he is active on X. And I was a little excited. He talked about why he returned. He said he talked with his daughter, and his daughter convinced him to because she gave him a bunch of reasons to, and he agreed that all these reasons were good. And then she asked him, well, Dad, if reason guides your life, then you need to listen to reason. And that's what convinced him. So, is he being reasonable? Is he using reason? Well, nope. We're not going to go into everything here. That would be impossible. He is relentless with his posting. But there was one thread or one theme that caught my eye, and it was his idea about atheists not having a morality. So before we get into exactly what he talked about, let's just talk about atheism. Atheism is a non-thing. It's not a thing at all. It's just a lack of a thing. A lack of a thing is not a thing. So yeah, an atheist is somebody that doesn't believe in a God. Any God will do. If you believe in any one, then you are not an atheist. If you do not have any mystical inclinations, any convictions that come from the supernatural, then you could call yourself an atheist. I really don't even like the term because I don't think it should exist any more so than a term should exist for people that don't believe in dragons or fairies or trolls or anything else. There aren't phrases or terms for any of these things, but there is for the one supernatural type of being of a god. Anyway, let's look at what he said here, and we'll get into it. So it started with this. If you're an atheist, what reason do you have not to lie? Very odd question. I translated it, but anyway, this is a very odd question because he's saying that only if you believe in the supernatural, if you believe in a mystical being, do you have a reason not to lie? Because then, there's a fear of a punishment of disobeying the cosmic father of things. So yeah, what I said here, question translated, if you don't believe in mysticism, why don't you want to fake reality? The question is nonsense. Yes, that's simply how it is, right? Why is lying bad? Because it violates the law of identity, the law of non-contradiction. Because when you lie, you're saying that the reality is something that it is not. So that is a contradiction, and that is immoral. Our identity is that of rational beings. If we are irrational, then we are being immoral. We are being also impractical. That's the nice part about it. The moral is the practical and is the moral. Sorry, the rational is the practical and is the moral. And if one of these things is immoral, then the others are irrational and impractical. Or if it's just impractical, it's also immoral and irrational. So yeah, it's a simple answer. Of course, a lot of people gave answers that weren't as encompassing as mine, perhaps. And he points them out as showing that all atheists think badly and they have no morality whatsoever. And he posted many different posts on this, many tweets, to use the old term, on this, about how all atheists, they don't know anything. For instance, the fact that atheists rejected Christian morality without working night and day to create a rational replacement reveals that they have contempt not for God, but for any and all moral rules. Vanity and sabotage, pure, simple. This is weird, right? So, like I said here, have you ever heard of virtue ethics? I mean, there's been a lot of virtue ethicists. Aristotle, to name one, from almost 2,500 years ago. He came up with a pretty good virtue ethics based on being rational. And then I would say that more recently, Ayn Rand has come up with her own virtue ethics, a more simplified, demystified version of Aristotelian virtue ethics. Basically, the only thing that Rand did to update Aristotle, not the only thing, but one of the major things she did was when we're talking about value, so morals falls within values as well, but more generally, when we talk about value, Aristotle treated value as a metaphysical concept, and Rand made it epistemological, which is the proper place for it. Value does not exist or metaphysically, it exists epistemically only. To say that it exists metaphysically would be to believe in intrinsicism, which Aristotle did, which is value in itself, which doesn't make sense. It is a sort of mystical concept. Anyway, so I just told him I hold rationality to be the highest virtue. Acting rationally means promoting long-term flourishing and achieving mutual benefit through voluntary interaction. It's based on the law of identity. Force is anti-mind. Reason is the tool. Of course, there's much more, much more expansion that you can give on this, many more details about this, but I think this suffices for just a quick post on X. And of course, he ignores it. Is he ignoring reason? Is he going for the low-hanging fruit of, non-philosophical, not thought-through responses? Yes, he definitely is. I find it very interesting, just the possibility, or which seems to be the plausible reality, that he is now Christian. This is a common trend going on now. Just to speak briefly on it, like Joe Rogan has even become Christian. He was making fun of Jesus and Christianity and religion in general pretty much his whole career. Now he's going to church, and he's saying that science just needs you to believe in one miracle, just one little miracle, and that's that the Big Bang created itself. I think those are his exact words. It's something like that anyway. He's like, but yeah, it's like, but yeah, like, what is it that unbelievable to think that Jesus rose from the dead? Well, yes, but okay, let's say that, Jesus died, he was crucified, and then 3 days later, he actually rose from the dead. Well, if you could prove that, all you're proving is that Jesus rose from the dead. Not that he is the Son of God, not that any of his teachings are true, nothing. You're proving nothing. All your work is still ahead of you. Anyway, it's a bit funny, a bit peculiar to think that Stefan Molyneux is also now in this camp. I will post this video on his X, see if he responds. Probably not, because like I said, he's just going for, irrational responses, low-hanging fruit. But I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious what he has to say about my responses here, because, he's, to just reiterate this, his question is, if you don't believe in mysticism, why don't you want to fake reality? Which is a ridiculous question. So this has been me actually thinking today. If you think I was doing a bad job, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.